It was narrated that during the time of our master Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, there was a young Muslim worshipper who used to spend a lot of time in the masjid, and our master Umar was impressed by him. This young man had an elderly father, so whenever he prayed al-Isha prayer, he would head to his father afterwards, and he would pass by the door of a woman. This woman became infatuated with him, so she would present herself to him on his path. One night, he passed by her, and she kept seducing him until he followed her. When he reached her door, the woman entered, and he intended to go in after her, when suddenly he remembered the saying of Allah the Exalted in Surah Al-A'raf, verse 201. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ تَذَكَّرُوا فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْصِرُونَ. Al-Qurtubi, a scholar of tafsir, he said about the meaning of this verse, "Indeed, those who stay away from the sins, then if something devilish presents itself to them, they are reminded of the great power of Allah and His endowing upon them, so they would leave out the sin as a result of that." Then this young man fell to the ground and fainted. The woman came, calling for her slave girl, and they both picked him up and carried him to his door. His elderly father came out to see him and found him lying on the doorstep unconscious. So he called out to his family members. So they came and carried the young man into the house. He didn't wake up until a certain time had passed from the night. Then his father said to him, "Malak, what happened to you?" So the young man said, "Khair, something good." His father said, "Inni as'aluk, I am asking you." So the young man informed him about what happened. So the elderly father said, "O my son, and which ayah was it that you recited?" So he recited the ayah to his father. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ تَذَكَّرُوا فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْصِرُونَ. Which means, indeed, those who stay away from the sins, those who do not disobey Allah, then if something devilish presents itself to them, they would be reminded of the great power of Allah and His endowing upon them, and as a result, they would leave out committing that sin. In other words, they would be protected from falling into the sin. And right after reciting this, the young man fell unconscious again. They moved him and found that he had died. So they washed him and brought him out and buried him during the nighttime. When it was morning, this matter was brought to our master Umar, may Allah raise his rank. So he went to the elderly father and he paid his condolences. And he said to him, "Why didn't you tell me as soon as this happened?" So he said to him, "Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, O leader of the believers, it was nighttime." So our master Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, "Take us to his grave." So our master Umar went, along with those that were with him, to the grave of this young Muslim man. Then Umar addressed this man, who died out of his extreme fear of Allah, saying to him, وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. And this is the 46th ayah of Surah Ar-Rahman. And according to al-Qurtubi, it means, the one who feared being held to account by Allah on the Day of Judgment and as a result, he or she left out sinning, they will have 2 gardens in paradise. Some said 1 garden is for the person's fear of Allah, and 1 for their leaving out their desire. So the young man replied from inside of his grave, Ya Umar, قد أعطانيهما ربي عز وجل في الجنة مرتين. O Umar, my Lord has certainly granted them both to me in paradise 2 times. We ask Allah Ta'ala to make us amongst the God-fearing Muslims. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from disobeying Him and grant us the good end. And Allah Ta'ala knows best.